of this lesson is nested loops in Python. In Python and many other programming languages, loops are the basic structures to perform iterations, i.e., to repeat the execution of a portion of code several times. However, sometimes you need to put one loop inside another, i.e., you need to nest the loops. We will exemplify the simple case of one loop inside another, but everything works just the same way when you have more than two nested loops, being the for loop or the while loop. However, let's review the following basic concepts about loops in Python. There are two basic forms to do loops in Python. Although you can do basically the same with both of them, usually they're used for iterations that you know how many times they will occur, even if you can stop it before. Those are the for loops. Iterations that you will observe something else to decide when to stop an iteration. Those are the while loops. The for loops start with the reserved word for followed by a variable, the reserved word in, and the specification of a range. Then, basically, the for loop will execute its commands inside the loop sequentially, with the variable assuming all values inside the range. The while loops start with the reserved word while followed by a condition. Then, if the condition is true, the while loop will execute its commands inside sequentially until the condition becomes false. Remember that the condition is only tested at the beginning of each iteration. The commands inside a loop, i.e., the commands that will be executed during each loop iteration, are defined in Python by the indentation, number of tabs before the command. You can immediately terminate a loop by using the command break in the commands inside the loop. Usually, such a command is to be used after testing a condition, frequently, but not always, with an if command. This is rarely used in a for loop, but it's used frequently in a while loop. You can terminate a single iteration using the command continue. That's similar to the break command. However, the break command terminates the iteration and also the loop itself. The continue command terminates the iteration, but the loop continues running with the next iteration to be executed. As simple as it seems, nesting a loop means simply having a loop, let's call it outer loop, that has inside its commands another loop. Let's call it inner loop. For example, the code appearing on your screen right now shows two nested loops, an outer for loop over the values of I and an inner for loop over the values of j to multiply inside the inner loop all 9 elements of a 3x3 matrix A by a factor f that changes according to the outer loop iteration. The output of such program will be. Therefore, the outer loop executes 3 iterations